Welcome to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. I'm Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. Welcome to this episode. It's April 10th, 2018. And it's kind of overcast here in Orlando, and it's going to rain all day. So I've got all the lights on in my house, trying to make it a little bit brighter, a little bit more cheerful. So sextiles are when planets in the sky around the Earth are 60 degrees apart. So if you think of the sky around the Earth as being 360 degrees of a circle, 60 degrees of that is a sextile. And that means when there's a planet at one point and then the opposite, or not the opposite, but at one part of the 60 and the other part of the 60, beginning and end, that is a sextile. So they're working in cooperation, and they talk to each other. The planets come out as people in our lives, events in our world, feelings that we have, and they may incline us to be more cooperative with people that we've been maybe fighting with recently. So it's a positive aspect, and I talk a lot about more the negative aspects, but this is definitely a positive aspect. And so we have a lot of those coming up this week. And just to give you an idea, we have, let's see here, Moon sextile Uranus starting the week off on Wednesday at 10:55 a.m. Eastern, 7:55 a.m. Pacific. And Moon is in Aquarius, which means that it is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the planet that it sextiles. So it's going to be a really strong day of cooperation between ideas and coming together of clarity and clearing out clutter, no emotional clutter. Moon in Aquarius is somewhat of a detached energy astrologically, so we may not really connect to our nurturing side. We're much more intellectual about it and academic about it, and so that energy kind of expresses in that way. And then joining up with a positive aspect to the ruling planet of Aquarius means that it's going to be probably a strong electrical energy coming in, and it may even mean that we are so lit up that we talk a lot, which for me right now it seems to be what's going on. Anyway, so that's Wednesday. Then we have Sextile Thursday. I'm just going to call it Sextile Thursday because Thursday we have the Moon sextiling Saturn, Venus in Taurus sextiling Neptune in Pisces, Moon in Pisces sextiling Mars in Capricorn, Moon in Pisces joining up with Neptune, and then finally ending the day with a sextile between the Moon and Venus in Taurus. So it's going to be a really strong day of femininity, feminine understanding and cooperation with the powers that be. We're going to be in our emotions. We're going to be in our receptive energy. We're going to be in our feminine nature, and we're going to be ready to do what we need to do to take the action. Sextile to Mars, sextile to Saturn. Again, we have Venus. She's in an earth sign. Saturn, Mars, and Pluto are all in Capricorn and earth sign. And so that's a really strong cooperative day on Thursday. If you're looking to do anything around money, understanding how to invest it or what you need to do to invest it, you're going to feel more confident about that. This is what we need in our career, what we need around the house. Maybe you want to be at the home environment doing your job. It's probably a day you're going to do that. We have Moon sextiling Jupiter in Scorpio on Friday, which is also, it can be cooperative, but again, I read trines as a bit of a difficult aspect, meaning something can happen and then it'll be followed up by something that's really positive. So Moon in Pisces is a dreamy, kind of foggy, home, wanting to be nurtured, not wanting to go out kind of energy. And sextiling Jupiter and Scorpio, Jupiter retrograde right now, so it's acting more like Saturn. It's more restricted, structured. And so that means we're more about the intuition around our career and how we deal with someone in charge, because Oh, no, I take it back. I'm sorry. I was thinking of that was a sextile to Pluto and Capricorn. That's understanding the person in charge and working with someone in charge, or even understanding your own nature, your own cooperation with your personal authority. Then we have Moon sextiling Chiron on Friday. So Friday, while it's feminine and we do get things done, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, a little bit more emotional. And having the Moon right on Chiron in Pisces, it is where we were hurt around family or home domesticity. Maybe not having our nurturing side nurtured. So this is where we need to really look at what we're doing about healing our own wounding. But again, it's the wounded healer, and that tends to not heal. So that's part of the life story, is that Chiron the wound never really heals, but Chiron will end up understanding more about themselves, about the person. It overlays the understanding of self, and then able to really move forward, even though that wound isn't healed. Saturday, we have Jupiter sextiling Pluto. Big day, positive cooperation with values around foreign governments. We're going to understand more cooperation with foreign governments. So I don't really know, I haven't been keeping up with the Korea talks and anything like that, but that would be a really good day for that, because there is some cooperation until 4 p.m. when the moon in Aries squares Capricorn Saturn. So it's going to be an interesting day. We've got the moon on Saturday joining up with Mercury. Mercury goes direct on Sunday, so it's a last degree of that kind of Aries way of discussing. So that means Saturday it's interesting. It's actually a mixed bag, because it starts out the day early with some cooperation going on again between Jupiter and Pluto, which is major change, a major shift, but in a positive way. But then the moon joins up with Mercury, which is still retrograde, and that's more assertive or aggressive, and it means that we're emotional and we want to act out and throw a tantrum. So early in the morning, around 8 a.m. Eastern, 5:12 Pacific, it's more of like hangry morning, tired and just want to act out. Then later in the afternoon, 1:27 p.m., 10:27 a.m. Pacific, Mars sextiles Neptune. Again, cooperation, taking action. We're seeing some light. We're seeing, maybe it can work. So it's really what happens throughout the day is it starts off cooperative, then goes to more of a tantrum and assertive and aggressive, then goes back to cooperative, then ends the day with moon square Saturn, and that is like, I thought we were getting along. What happened? Now I'm back being annoyed with you. And that can be also around the home. It can be with starting new projects, dealing with new people, having people understand your point of view, and also cooperation within your career or people in authority and government. So that's going to be a little bit of a snag Saturday evening. Sunday, no sextiles, although I will touch on it because it is a very intense day, or a big day of shift as it's leading into it on Saturday. Sunday, Mercury goes direct. We have a new moon in Aries at 26 degrees, which means the new moon is right there near Pluto. And and not only that, the sun joins with Pluto, because according to this, at 9:57 p.m. Eastern, the moon, the sun, and the moon is conjunct Uranus. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Uranus, not Pluto. But it is a square also. So it's really, really powerful, potent. It says the moon is Cazimi and unusable for half an hour before and after the moon-sun conjunction. If you're doing something important, it's important to start around that time. It's part of a larger project that is begun around March 16th, and this is a great time to do it. So it's pretty potent. And then on Monday, we have a conjunction between the moon and Uranus at 1:59 a.m. Pacific, and then the moon enters Taurus at 4:51 a.m. and then immediately joins up at 8:38, or excuse me, later in the day with Saturn trine in Taurus and Capricorn. And then next Tuesday, which I'll touch on again next Tuesday, Saturn is retrograde. So we will be seeing that come in this weekend. Saturn, career, structure, authority, the father figure, all of that is coming in. And interestingly, it's in Capricorn. So it is going to be the energy of fathers and bosses and old school energy. It's hierarchical thinking, hierarchy within the business. So we're going to see a really strong governmental authority push, and it's going to probably be in a response to the fact that now Saturn's retrograde, which means he is not wanting to act all structured and safe and sound. He's actually going to act, I'm getting Uranus energy with this, which means unpredictable. On top of the fact that we've got, on the same day, we've got Venus opposing Jupiter. A lot of oppositions. The moon opposes Jupiter, and actually a lot of aspects. The moon opposes Jupiter on Tuesday, and Venus opposes Jupiter. So the moon and Jupiter are conjunct, and then Venus is trining Pluto, moon is trining Mars, moon opposes Jupiter, moon trines Pluto, moon conjuncts Venus, and then Saturn retrogrades on that day. So it's a big day on Monday. It's actually Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are going to be pretty rock and roll. And I think Tuesday is the big day, and then Monday's kind of calm, which I think you'll actually feel a little bit better on Monday. But Sunday, look for big conflicts and probably a lot of news. So anyway, now that I did that twice, I'm going to take a little break, and we're going to take calls. If you want to have a reading, call in at 347-994-365, and we'll be back in just a minute. In these days of stress, running around, responsibilities, we all need a little place to go to make it all better. Is that place sports, football, or maybe you like to garden, paint, or just listen to music? Wherever your happy place is, you can find a shirt or mug to reflect that happy place. At myhappyplace.rocks, we have a variety of lifestyle products, including iPhone cases, pajamas, and pet items, all with beautiful, colorful designs, which help us go to our happy place. Stop by on the web for great gift ideas for others and yourself. myhappyplace.rocks. Lenny Pickett appears courtesy of Random Act Records. Check them out at randomactrecords.com. Okay, welcome back. My name is Shelley Overton, and you are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio. And I just wanted to say I just updated my happyplace.rocks website, and it's looking really cute. I gave it a little bit more ease of navigating. So if you go there, you can get around a little bit better. And also, if you want to check out some astrology clothing, I've got astroart.net. That is a really great place for you to check out some of my designs for astrology, which are really cool. Anyway, if you would like to get a reading, a full reading, a birthday reading, or a mini reading, you can get me at astrologerangel.com or angeliczodiac.com. Anyway, let's take a call. Hi, 202. How are you?
Hey, Shelley. How are you? It's Kay.
Hi, Kay. It's good. So I'm good. I'm glad you stuck it out. Thank you so much. You probably listen to it often enough. Yeah. And so you know that I'm.
I was like, I don't know.
Is it you? No, I don't. I actually suspected because I had a long list of people listening, and they started dropping off one by one. I'm like, why are they dropping off? That's not normal. So now,
I would hate for her to be wasting her energy like that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh no. And then I went over like, I hate when that happens because, you just repeat yourself. You are the lucky one who stuck it out because you're the only one left. So
Yay,
I get to give you a nice long time. Yeah. So hopefully other
we love
people will
that.
kind of call back in and take a chance. But what can we do for you today? What can I talk to you about?
All right. Two things. One, I wanted to look at a particular person, and then two, I wanted to look at good timing for trying to like solicit new work and for getting new work, creative stuff, that kind of thing.
Okay, great. Well, who is the person that you want to? I mean, I may have him in my bank of people. So, what's his first name?
Maybe M. It's what is it? It's,
okay, July 18th.
September. No, it's
okay.
September 7th.
Okay, hang on. Let me just get that all in here. So, yeah. Okay, M. I'm just going to put him as M. And 281. Okay, what day? September 7th. What year?
71.
Okay, and what time?
Not sure the time, but it's like Washington, D.C.
Okay, let me do a sunrise chart for him then.
Okay.
Okay. And is this someone romantic, someone business, possibly both?
All of it. All of it. It's very confusing. In and out for years. Yeah.
What was that? You've known him for years?
Yeah. Probably.
Oh, okay.
At least 12.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time. Okay, so I've got to know, have you tried to do anything romantic with him before, or is this all kind of like, oh, you could be somebody I'm interested in?
You know, we have kissed a couple of times, and it's been really intense, but just life has kind of taken us in other places, directions, things like that, relationships, so it's never been full-fledged.
Okay, so I'm putting two of you together, and I also did what's going on in his world right now. So double check. Oh, have mercy. Did you really do that? Hang on. I think it changed his birthday when I entered in the place. Yes. Let me re-enter the birthday for him because it put today's date. So that's not good. At least I caught it. I mean, I would have hated to give you a whole reading with today's date.
I'd be like,
that would have been bad. No,
yeah.
September 7th, 1971.
71.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. We'll save place. Okay. All right, good deal. Okay, so you two together. So his Mercury is on your Saturn, which means that you basically make him responsible for his ideas and how he communicates. So and also at the same time, you're basically living out kind of a story that he would like to do on some level. I'm not saying that he's all about what you're doing, but in your world, how you express like your teacher, he also has that kind of teacher energy about him, and he's very mental, like communicative. It's a Virgo. His Mercury's in Virgo. It means that he is really quick-minded.
I thought it was in Leo. I want to make sure you have the right date.
I have. Oh, wait a minute. What the heck did my computer do? Hang on. I've got it. I've got 1971. Why didn't it do that? September 7th, 1971, 6:46 a.m. Washington, D.C. So I'm going to just close out my bi-wheels and redo my bi-wheels. So I'll just put those two charts together again.
Maybe I put a later time and got Leo for the Mercury, but I always thought it was
It also
Leo.
can depend on how you set up your house system, because the house systems can change if you do use a different house system. I use Porphyry, and because it's a late degree Mercury, then it can shift it. So, it usually doesn't shift it that many degrees, because that's like 5 degrees. You're saying it's in Leo. That's a lot of degrees, but, it can
early
shift
Leo.
it.
I thought it was like...
Yeah. Well, mine shows... Oh, no, wait a minute. Okay, so... Yeah, no, you would be a completely different... Maybe you're set up for Vedic or something like that, or... I'm not
probably
sure
the default.
how you're setting it.
I'm not like you. I'm not like super experienced.
Do you have a sunrise? Did you do sunrise and all that?
Maybe I don't know if I did. I mean,
maybe your date's wrong. You said September 7th, 1971, right?
Yep, 71.
Yep, that's what I've got. So let me look.
Love it.
Let me see what I've got, because it's squirrelish, and Mercury is still retrograde. I'll tell you that still affects my stuff. So yeah, given that I wasn't even on the air earlier, you can tell. Nope, I've got 27 Leo. I don't know why it did that, but yeah, no, it says 27 Leo. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, but he does still resonate to what you're about because he's got 3 planets in Virgo and you have 3 planets in Virgo. So there is still a lot of Virgo in his chart. And yeah, his Mercury in Leo, interesting. Let me look. Oh, you've known him a long time. Have you known him to be, okay, so he's got an aspect in his chart that I mention once in a while. When you have a late degree planet in Scorpio and a late degree planet in Leo, it can mean that it's like you believe your own rhetoric, and he may not be completely forthcoming with you about stuff. So I would definitely be cautious around him. And I know you've known him a while, but there's a side of him you don't know. And
please elaborate. I'm sure that
he's got Jupiter.
I know he has a very kinky side.
Okay. Well, he's probably Christian Grey. I would not put it past him to be Christian Grey.
He admits that. He admits that.
Yeah. Oh, does
I'm a little bit attracted to with my Pluto.
Yeah. Uranus and Scorpio for you is definitely and your Neptune in Sagittarius also. Yeah. What did you say? Your Pluto? Yeah.
Well, I just feel like with my Pluto, my moon conjunct Pluto or whatever aspect, I love intense experiences.
Okay, so he's okay. You've got Uranus and Scorpio in the 12th, and that definitely is going to be kind of alternate sex tastes and things that you keep hidden. So now it's all out over the internet, and congratulations. But yeah, right. No, his Jupiter falls within 4 degrees of your Uranus and Scorpio, and it falls in your 12th house, but his Neptune's at 0 Sagittarius. So there's also this energy of adventure and not wanting to stay still and needing to move and go. Your Neptune's also in Sagittarius, but it falls in your 1st house, whereas his falls in your 12th house. So he there's a subliminal thing going on with the two of you where you kind of look at each other and just kind of know. But yeah, when you said that I'll just call it the Christian Grey. I think it's Christian, right? I never saw the movie.
Yes.
But the Shades of Grey effect. So yeah, but his Pluto is at late degree Virgo. So for him, it's like a culmination of this health issue story. He's got kind of a feminine, I want to say he's got a Venus in Virgo and he's got Sun in Virgo and they're conjunct. So there's an aspect of him that while he's got this hidden sexy side, there's also almost a gender neutral, with androgynous vibe about him. I find that the Virgo men can be more fine boned and have a certain feminine quality about them in how they look. That is that his physical appearance can be a little bit less macho man and more refined.
I would say he's not super macho because he is an Aries moon, so that lends to the macho.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
There is a very soft thing that I'm attracted to, for sure.
Yeah, he's got he's got Saturn and Gemini. Where's your Saturn? Your Saturn's up there in Virgo. I'm not a big fan of those two because his Saturn and Gemini, and actually quite a few things in his chart are telling me that you don't really know him as well as you think you do because he's two different people. I will tell you that this man is really 2 different people. I mean, Saturn and Gemini are going to give you someone who has 2 different careers and 2 different ways of looking at life, and so it kind of splits him his energies, and it's also in his Virgo house. So there's a combination of things going on. He's got a lot of Virgo and a lot of Gemini, and that means the commonality is Mercury. So there's a side of him that can be very grounded, and you can understand him, and he's able to express himself very succinctly and analytically. And that's a big thing for him, is analytical. I mean, oh my gosh, so I'll tell you all his analysis. Saturn in Gemini, Mars in Virgo, Jupiter in Virgo, Saturn in Virgo, Pluto in Libra, and Moon in Libra, because that's an air sign. So that's going to be the mental person. Then he has, oh, I'm sorry, that's you. You have that. But he has, what the heck was I just doing? I just told you you're Mercury, please leave me alone. Okay, so he has Sun, Venus, Pluto in Virgo. Then he has Uranus in Libra, and those planets are all the mental. And then let me see what else. And then he has the Mars in Aquarius, which is also going to bring in that element of detachment from emotion, and much more about, like, his drive is about deciphering things and understanding things and curiosity. So, I mean, his chart is really heavily weighted on intellect and attention. So the attention meaning Mercury in Leo, Moon in Aries. He wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to be right. And, yeah, I would say his chart's really thin on empathy. So
that's good to know what I need.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, you've got a lot of commonality, like I said, but and I'll tell you, the commonalities are your Virgo planets, your Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and his Sun, Moon, Pluto. So for those who are listening, that means like your Mars, your Jupiter, your okay. So that's an interesting combination. That is a sex combination, and it's in your house of the Jupiter ruled house, which is Sagittarius, and it means that there is an overlay of sexuality around that. So normally that's an androgynous cluster in Virgo, but in the ninth house means that you might have issues around hygiene, and you love sex, but it has to be, you have to be like, go take care of yourself, shave, and do all the things that you need to do, look all nice and pretty, and then we can talk, So, yeah, there's that aspect of it, and it's a really potent energy, but at the same time, that's where your Saturn falls as well. So that's career. It means that you can have, there's so much in that cluster. I can't even begin to tell you. So it's your drive, it's transformation, and ownership and responsibility of career. It is travel. It is education. You're into education. You are a teacher. I mean, we've talked a lot, and I mean, that really is a strong energy for you. Unless I'm confusing you with someone else, like, do you do any kind of teaching? Because I could have sworn you were my caller who is getting all the film stuff ready. Aren't you doing the film?
I mean, I do. With my girlfriends, I give them readings and things like that, and healing and things like that, and talk to them about astrology and stuff like that. So maybe that's where the teaching kind of, or nurturing kind of aspect.
And it can be the other side. It can also be you can't not learn. Like, definitely you're a curious person. Yeah. And part of that is the South Node also in Aquarius, because the South Node, you come into this world, your South Node is the past life. So you get to understand things very clearly. Like Aquarius is you're just hyper aware of things, and you're very sharp and quick-minded. And you move into this life that falls in your third house of communication and cooperation. Really communication. So you're very quick to understand things and probably a little impatient with people. And then with that Sun Mercury cluster joining, what is it? Conjunction. Thank you. Mercury just keeps after me. Anyway, that Pisces conjunction there. You're like already 10 steps ahead of people, and you're like, okay, I've already got this. If what I don't understand intellectually, I get intuitively. So come on, catch up, Anyway,
yes.
Yeah. So you said everything with him you wanted to know. I kind of talked about your romantic side. Is there another side you wanted to know before I?
Career, and then I just wanted to see about when a good time is for me for career and soliciting.
He could be a good partner for you if you're looking for an entrepreneurial endeavor. His Uranus is entrepreneurial in Libra, is It's in your house of career, so he could be a really good partner entrepreneurially. But I would say maybe something where he is in another city is going to be really beneficial to you. If he's not, like, if you have, I mean, I'm not even say beneficial. It looks like he could be a long distance person. So if that's a romance for you, that might work out for you, having a long distance romance or business relationship. Okay.
What makes you say the distance? What aspect?
Oh, the Jupiter in the 12th house, and your Jupiter in career, and his his Uranus is the Libra, in Libra is the joining, but the Jupiter and the Sagittarius 12th house means that it adds a nuanced energy to your connection to him. And darn, I just closed out that wheel because I was going to move on. I have one more caller, and I want to make sure I can get to my other caller. But you were saying for career too, right? For your own career, you
just
said?
like for applying for stuff and getting stuff coming in. Yep.
Okay, let me just look, because you've got Saturn moving out really soon out of your house, except for retrogrades this weekend. Darn it. So Saturn, what the heck? Saturn at the end of the year. Yeah. I think we talked about this. We were talking about your projects and everything, but at the end of the year, Saturn's actually going to get really close. So it'll probably be January, because it's at 11 degrees, means it's right at the very end of your house of home and family. So you're really, this year is like wrapping up some of the structural demands of your family of origin and what's going on with them. And then
you mean Uranus?
No, Saturn and Capricorn. Did I get that wrong? Oh no. Damn, I'm sorry. I swear. I've got him, because I didn't give him a name. I gave him your name with the M at the end, so I confused him. Oh my God. I swear this is one of my bad shows.
It's all that.
It's schizo. Okay, sorry. There we go. No. Oh, in your first house. Okay, sorry. Definitely Saturn in the first house is still helping you grow. And 22 degrees. No, he's there for a good long time. Let me see. Anything going across your midheaven? Yeah, nothing on your midheaven. Uranus. Yes, Uranus. I'm sorry. Yes, Uranus is going to be getting on, again, like I said, goes into Taurus May 15th. And he will retrograde this year. So he's going to go in Taurus, and he's going to get back out into Aries for a little bit, for like 4 months. And that means you'll be wrapping up some of those old stories. You have it's your Venus at late degrees Aries. So that's really about self-promotion and okay with you moving on to the next phase of your life. And that's really the strongest thing I can tell you about that particular aspect. And
what about anything going into the second house? Is that indicative of anything? Because I think Mars is about to go there. Would that bring in any money or work or that kind of thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll bring money, and it'll also it'll bring in if you put out the energy, you're going to get back what you put out, because it's a very literal thing. Mars Capricorn is literal. Anything in Capricorn is going to be like, if you take the action, you'll get the effect. If you say the words, you've got to back it up. That kind of thing. So Mars at 22:31. Let me tell you when that is, and then I can let you know. Let's see, 22:30. So it'll be the 30th of April is when Mars goes in there. And also, there's some. I would even say if you put something out there just before that, like mid-April, that's going to be really good for you, because Mars will be coming up on Pluto, which means it'll be passion. You'll be passionate about it. It'll be life-changing. And then when Mars crosses over Pluto, like before then, Mars comes up on Pluto, then right as he gets to Pluto, just after he goes in to the next house, so that's where the money's coming from. As he's approaching Pluto, that is the major life change. So that's going to be the thing, like if you're looking for something that's really potent for your life, for making money, that's the energy. So the last 2 weeks of April, start making the causes, and then you'll get the effect. And it's pretty powerful. So,
amazing. Thank you so much. I will let you move on. I appreciate it.
And also, I was just letting you know, after the 15th is when Mercury goes direct, and so that means now Mercury can give you positive communication, and it'll also be time when you're going to be doing more around the house, a home and family. Okay?
Cool beanies. Thank you again.
Right. Hey, thank you for sticking with me. You really bridged the gap, so thank you so much. Take care.
Oh, yeah. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. We've got 401. Hi, 401. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I'm doing good.
Thank you for being there. Let me see. Have you called the show before?
No, I'm a first-time listener.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, thank you so much for giving us a shot here. Let me just get your birth information real quick, and I'll answer your question. Oh, tell me your name, too.
My name is Carrie, and my birthday is August 6th, 1985.
Okay, wonderful. And what time? Do you know what time you were born?
Yes, 10:32 in the morning.
Okay, wonderful. And where were you born?
In Rhode Island, in Warwick.
Warwick. Okay, wonderful. I have a personal affection for that date, August 6th, because that's my son's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So wonderful.
It's funny because I learned in my lineage that my great-grandparents were married on my birthday. So, kind of tracing back.
Ooh.
There's always weird significance and synchronicities.
Yeah. And, families are like that. You have dates that are they're, like you said, synchronistic. I mean, I know I've seen in my family, my birthday's the day after my grandmother's, and my son is born the day after his grandmother's. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Well, I mean, I pay attention to, the planetary transits, and, I've always been someone intrigued by it. And over the past, being a Leo, especially with all the eclipses of last year, it's just been some frenetic energy that, I just couldn't put my finger on. And it's affected my relationship quite a lot. We have, it was a new beginning. Everything was staged for a wonderful, new start in both business as well as our relationship. And it just seems like life continuously keeps getting in the way. So it's sort of making that decision now, emotionally, with like being stuck. So I don't know if you'd like his information, but if you can get any thoughts on that. His birthday is 2/26/82. Okay,
hang on one second. You said February 26th?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't know the time, I'm guessing?
It's around 3:30 in the afternoon, I believe.
Okay. Oh, that's nice that you would know that. Thank you. Okay, hang on one second. It's starting to pour where I'm at. Okay, so you said what time in the afternoon? I'm sorry.
Around 3:30, and it's sort of interesting because it's one of those things like when it rains, it pours. In both our existing lives that we've had, and I'm transitioning. I've had quite some loss in the past couple of years, but we have, some new beginnings we can have. So it's just sort of like knowing, fight or flight, and it's staying the course, but at the same time knowing what's best for you. So I wanted to know if you saw any energies around that.
Sure. And I'm sorry, you said he was born where?
In Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence, okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, so are you asking to see compatibility, or are you like the dynamics, or do you want to see more what's going on in his world now?
Maybe in the world, sort of. There's just been some distance, and it's a lot of he's sort of pragmatic. I'm sort of more of the one who pushes forward.
Okay. Well, let's see. He's got a few planets in Libra, which is an air sign. So that means that he needs to have a partner to balance himself and how he thinks, how his mind works. He just needs to have that it's almost like a groundedness, because it's an air sign. The air sign energy needs to be grounded, because otherwise it's kind of, it'll, in other words, people who have air signs can get off in their own thoughts and, lose track of tangible reality, not in a negative way necessarily, but, they just get all off in their mind, and it goes round and round, and they'll get like this one thought that they can't get out of. So to help the Libra energy, having another person tends to ground them and anchors them into the material world, so to speak. So he's one of those people. He has Mars, Saturn, and Pluto all in Libra. So he needs that. And also at the same time, and this is something that I've noticed myself, is that Libra energy, and people with strong Libra, and he's Libra, he's Pisces, but people with strong Libra, they can have a third. It'll be like three people as opposed to just you and the partner. There's another person that acts like a fulcrum, or they triangulate. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So it balances
Absolutely.
them. So there's always that other third person that kind of like to bounce stuff up. So it's like that balancing energy. Yeah. So you've seen that?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Whether it's a family member or, I've wondered if there's another person. It's just I never know sort of where he's at.
Well, his falls in his house of siblings and neighbors. So again, if you're guesstimating at 3:30 in the afternoon, so that puts all that energy in his third house, which is neighbors and siblings. So maybe he also has Saturn there. So Saturn may mean that he's got part of his life purpose is wrapped up in that sibling. So
it is.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got Mercury in Aquarius also, and that can be like communicative. He's very like I was telling the last caller, you can be intellectual, but you might not be sympathetic. So it's like a disconnect with empathy. It's very, I understand it on a higher level. It's the energy of someone who channels information. They're almost claircognizant, that they just get it. They just know what it is. And but he can be a little attached, like specifically today, literally the moon is on his Mercury today in Aquarius. And so let me real quick put the two charts together and see what I see here. Okay. So all of that Libra energy falls in your first house. And interestingly, you have Pluto at 2 degrees Scorpio. So that energy right there is, you kind of have a predisposition to be very deep feeling and almost morbid sometimes. Like you have a 9-degree Libra rising, but you also have 9 degrees of Scorpio in your first house. So that means between 9 degrees Libra and 9 degrees Scorpio, that's how people see you, and that's also how your ego can manifest in this world, like how the ego is attached to the body, more or less. So it's really how you work your way through the material world as an ego person, as like, I have needs, I have desires, you've got to fulfill them. It's based in passion, understanding, and diving into the depths of knowingness around who you are, and that's part of the generation that you're in. But your generation is pretty strong in your chart, being in the first house. So that means that you really resonate to the vibe of that deep feeling, passionate person, long-suffering artist kind of idea, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then you have Saturn and Scorpio also, and that's in the house of money. So part of your life purpose is understanding your value as it relates to others. Okay, so are they valuing you enough? And your themes will come back to that over and over, right? So as far as he's concerned, he's Jupiter in Scorpio, so he can be major life changing, and that falls in your house of couples, which is the second house. It's also the house of money, but because of that Scorpio connection, it's joint finances, so there's some kind of connectedness around value with him, and he can bring you. It's interesting because he has Jupiter, which is very fortunate and can be light and bright, and he's also in a Jupiter return right now, and that means that he's expanding the part of his life that is scorpionic, and Jupiter tends to be less deep and more superficial, but in Scorpio it can bring that. I'm actually so many things going through my head, can't get it out quickly enough. So Jupiter wants to along the surface. When it goes into Scorpio, it digs deeper, or it brings Scorpio depth up a little more superficial, so that people with Scorpio having Jupiter go through there can be a little lighter and let some things go and not go so deep. When Jupiter retrogrades, which it is now, and it also is in his chart, it means that it acts more like Saturn. So having your Saturn in Scorpio and his Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio, you can act. And that means that it's more serious. It's more, every problem can be very intense for you, for both of you.
Right.
So I'm sorry I didn't ask this. Are you in a relationship or just thinking of being in one?
We're in one. We live together.
Okay.
We go on the property actually together that
Okay.
I had in my family, and he has some business. He had a business prior to our relationship. He's also a firefighter.
Okay.
With his brother. So there's the triangulation, and like that sort of has dissipated. But I just feel like I'm always. It's like I'm an empathic person, and it's picking up on those energies and trying not to feed into them, sort of. But it's like some weird competition kind of, and it's sort of. Like he just tries to take care of everyone. He's the youngest of 4 siblings, and I'm an only child, so it's sort of balancing that out, but also seeing as though like, he needs to live for himself, and if he's not going to choose that, I mean, I don't want to sort of wait around, if it comes to that. He needs to learn that on his own. Yeah, so that makes perfect sense.
Well, I can tell you that this energy shift in May with Uranus going into Taurus, it's going to be a major shift of how we look at our lives and what we want out of our lives and couples, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is couples. It rules the second house. So that second house of couples. What I assign the actual getting together of people to the second house. And so, like the partner as in a marriage would be the 7th house, and then the romance would be the 5th house, but the 6th house is when you come together. For you, his Jupiter falls right there, and being that he's in a Jupiter return, which means Jupiter's also transiting that house for you, that is a questioning of where you're at with this relationship. That's what you're going to get. You're going to go like, is this something that I want to continue with? And then you may change because Jupiter's transformation. You're really challenging like your personal worth, and then without going in too much further into this, because I could go on and on. This is why I do private readings, because I can go on and on.
Which may be interesting in getting.
Yeah, I would love to do a deeper reading, but just superficially, really quickly, his Leo is going to be in negative aspect to that Uranus when Uranus goes into Taurus. It's going to be in conjunct. So it's going to be hitting all of his Leo over the next 8 years. And it's going to really wake him up to a lot of issues around couples and how he's acting. Let me see. I'm just trying to see where his energy. He has Chiron there. So probably around 6 years now, which is a ways away, but he's going to have Uranus on his Chiron, which means there's going to be something that comes up that's going to quickly move out or in or out of his life that's going to hurt feelings, okay, and like in a deep life level. I'm just trying to see his okay, so your North Node is on his Chiron also, within 5 degrees of his Chiron. So part of your lesson in this world is triggering, it's triggering his Chiron, and I think the two of you have a karmic destiny from the relationship standpoint, because you're here to learn and transmute the past energy of your worth to others, and it transmutes, and then you understand your worth as a person. And it also will affect how you're paid, how you see yourself and your income and things like that. He's got his Chiron there, so that's also where he was wounded, but it's actually where your fortune comes from. So the fact that he was wounded in that same area, it's where your fortune comes from, means that you're going to diverge at that point. You're actually moving towards where you can find your own personal worth, and he's going to get hurt by that, so to speak. So, and he may have been hurt someone else in his life, and I'd have to go deeper into his chart to find that out. But that's kind of, dynamic going on with the two of you around worth, personal worth versus worth to. Pardon me?
That makes a lot of sense, only because, he's expressive, but he's also reserved. So he's more of an introvert. I'm the extrovert.
Okay.
And, I'm not trying to be his left or right brain all the time and think for him, but because I can pick up and, I think that's why we've been together for 3 years. But at the same time, I have to make a decision, whether or not I can live my life like that.
Right.
He's going to learn for himself.
Yeah, his Venus is in Capricorn and your Venus is in Cancer. So there's a dynamic of he's daddy and you're mommy. So
absolutely. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for spreading
you're welcome. On that. It was my pleasure, and I'm sorry. I wish I could have had more time to you. I saw people coming and going, and they all fell off because my sound was gone, unfortunately. And I got a duck, so anyway, please do contact me if you get further in.
Absolutely. I will definitely look in private reading as well.
Okay. Well, it was good talking to you, Carrie. Thanks again for calling.
You too. Take care, Shelley.
Okay. Bye-bye. And that's the show for this week. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and I'll see you next week. It's going to be a big show. I'm probably going to talk about Saturn retrograde. So take care. See you next week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.